Hey and welcome to Hank's True Barbecue. I am Hank. I'm all dressed up today and that's for a good reason. There's gonna be some swine dining today. We're cooking Carrillera Iberica. It's gonna be good. Now, what that means is Iberico pork cheeks. These are really good. I've done ox cheeks plenty of times. The thing with these is they're really tough because they're being used all the time with the animals chewing, of course, so they need a lot of tenderizing. And we're gonna get that done today. But first, of course, since this is a barbecue channel, we're gonna smoke it real good. So a little prep involved, and we're gonna get them on the big green egg today. I'm gonna smoke them pretty hard with cherry wood before moving over to braising them with a few special ingredients. Now, if we take them out of the bag, you're gonna see there's quite a few of those. Since they're smaller obviously than the ox cheeks, but they look really good. I like this, the dark, really dark color, which isn't that common on pork, but very common for the Iberico pig. So is there any trimming to be done? Well, I might cut off just a bit of membrane and sinew, but except for that, we're gonna apply a rub, as we do most of the time, and get those flavors in there. I think that's all of them actually. Nice trimming. What do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 1 kilo roughly of, almost a kilo, 2 pounds of pork cheeks. It's gonna be good. Now I'm gonna apply the rub. I'm gonna let them rest before we smoke them. Just gonna lay them out flat so I can cover them easier with the rub. Now I'm actually gonna use a beef rub for these because of the darkness of the color, which is really nice. I'm gonna use my own Hank's Bonafide beef rub. I think it will be a good match, but again, as I always say, use whatever you have available, or if you have any preferences. This should add a lot of flavor though to these. I'm gonna lay it on pretty thick. I want a lot of flavor since we're gonna not only smoke them but also braise them later. Nice, flip them around, get the other side. You can see all the fat marble in between and some of the membranes and tendons. That's gonna add a ton of flavor, so this should be really good. All right, that's good enough. Nice, we're going to put these in the fridge for a few hours before we get started grilling, or well, smoking actually. Nice. Now once this gets up to temp, I'm gonna add some cherry wood chunks to get some good smoke flavor. Alright, so we're up to temp. I'm gonna add some wood chunks. Nice fire going. This should give us some good smoke. Get the deflector plate back. Grill grates. Thermometer slipped out, of course. All right, some beautiful smoke coming already, so let's just get the cheeks on the grates and smoke them for an hour and a half. Okay, so 1.5 hours in. Oh, this is looking good. Look at that bark. So we're gonna bring them in, we're gonna braise them. And I'm gonna shut this one down because I haven't run it for that long, so I can reuse the coals for the next cook. All right, here are the beef cheeks. Looking good so far, smells fantastic. Really nice bark, well smoked, which is nice. Now we're gonna begin phase 2 of this project, which is the braising to get them fall apart tender. Now to do that, we're gonna use a lot of red wine. I'm gonna chop up a few peaches. I'll show you how to add some sweetness. We're gonna go with some paprika powder, some thyme, etc. So let's get to braising this little pot to get those flavors in and get that delicious smell in the kitchen. All right, so first off, we're gonna add a few tablespoons of oil. I use a neutral oil. And we're gonna crush 2 cloves of garlic. The trick with garlic is as soon as you crush it, it's gonna start reacting with the oxygen in the air. So once you crush it, you wanna get it into the oil as soon as possible. Also, the second thing to think about is we don't want to brown it. We just want to get those flavors into the oil. That's 1 and 2. While that's cooking, I'm gonna add some ground cumin, 1 teaspoon. I'm gonna add some paprika powder, also 1 teaspoon, and some thyme. This is good, I'm using oil as a transfer medium, if you like, to get the flavors in. That's nice. Now we're gonna add some wine. This is a full bottle. I just preheated it on a separate hob. And finally, time to add the pork cheeks. Now this is gonna braise for quite a while. So the plan is when this is done, that it's gonna be fall apart tender, and we're gonna reduce the amount of fluid in here to half roughly. So it's gonna be quite thicker, kind of like a thin gravy or a thick sauce. Oh, and right, before I forget it, I'm gonna add the peaches I mentioned before for sweetness. All right, here are 2 peaches. I've chopped them up. I peeled them first and then just chopped them up roughly. They're gonna add a nice fruity flavor, but more than anything, sweetness. And they're gonna, by the time this is done, you're not gonna be able to see them. They're more or less gonna dissolve, but that's fine. And the 2 bay leaves. Now that's gonna simmer. I'm gonna put on a lid with a little gap, so it shouldn't be completely closed, but just gonna leave this for, well, an hour and a half, and I'll check in, see how it goes. But now begins the magic of reducing the fluid and also getting those flavors to blend. Now, usually when you put the lid on and let it simmer, this one's gonna slide over and close. So what I do is I take a clothespin like that and put it on like that, and now you can leave it for a good hour at least. That's an easy way to keep the lid from closing in. Okay, so 2.5 hours of simmering. This is just the way it should be. Not too intense, no boiling, just simmering, but oh, this is looking real good. Fall apart tender. I was expecting the peaches to be more dissolved, but that's good. It's looking nice. I think it's time for a taste test. Perhaps I'll give it another 20 minutes, but well, we gotta check this. Oh, this is good. I'm actually gonna add a bit of sugar also, just a bit of salt. But this is really good. Ah, amazing flavors. Get that smoke comes through in the pan, that's really good. I'm gonna give it another 20 minutes, but this is a real good stew. Excellent pork flavor. All right, another 20, then it's time to serve. Nice. All right, now that was a fun cook. I like combining the outdoors cooking with the indoors cooking, and letting these pork cheeks braise like we did with red wine and some peaches is just fantastic. Now I'm just gonna use it, pour it up in a bowl, serve it with a slice of bread, like real autumn style food. Good now that the days are becoming shorter. So, I mean, all in all, just love it. I think this is the way to cook cheeks, regardless of whether it's ox cheeks or pork cheeks. So, good fun. Thank you very much for watching. Now all I have to do is figure out what to cook next week. But either way, I'll see you then. Thanks.